Well, I know, 30 seconds into my live stream and I just started talking. Still trying to learn how to do this, but it's coming. The reason I'm bringing you a live stream to this morning is I have a bunch of screens up here that I have to put new screens in, and I thought I'm going to show my subscribers, my viewers, and how I do that. I've already got caught in the rain this morning. I had to cut a tree limb out of a tree for a friend and started raining here. But let me show you these screens. Take a look there. I've got a bunch of them here. That's just a few of them. There's some more up here you can see. And some of the basic tools that you need are, if you could get a hold of one of these, they come in real handy. Use that to put this spline back down in there. Utility knife, a screwdriver, a pliers sometimes comes in handy. Now the first thing I usually do is I find a square place where I can set my screen into a square corner like this. And then I dig this spline out right here, as you can see, and I start to peel that out, and it peels out real easy. And then after you get that peeled out, you put your new screen in place and you start working that spline back into that groove. Let me show you how I do that. Like this right here, let's say this was your new screen. You just work that right back. I usually put it in place like that, and I just push it back in there with this spline the best I can. Get it in there, so it's like that. Once it's in place, you can take this tool. It's got two edges. You've got this edge here, and then you have this edge right here. Now, I usually use this right here to push it in so it actually stays in place better on that round spline, and I push it in like that. And then when I get it done like that, I'll take this rounded edge and I'll use it just to make sure it's seated down into that channel the way it is. And normally you've got screen hanging over, so I take the utility knife and I trim that. And it's that easy to replace screen. So you pull this out, and I usually save it because most of the time you can reuse this stuff. Pulls out fairly easy, as you can see, kinda. And the reason I have these two tools right here is sometimes you got to dig that spline out of that groove to get it to get started, and then sometimes it doesn't come very easy. Get a hold and you can pull it with the pliers. So that's how I replace screen. Now let me show you what a finished screen should look like, although I have to replace these also because the owner wants aluminum screen and not fiberglass. And you can see that that turned out really nicely. There's two of them there that I'll have to redo. And over there's the screen I'm going to use. Here's the framing that I've got set up. Square. You can use about anything. 1 by 2 by, just something to keep it square. Otherwise, when you put your screen in, you might get it out of square and it would put a wrinkle in your screen. Not as quickly with the aluminum, but sure with the fiberglass. I'm up here in the upstairs of my downtown hardware that I managed for several years. A little makeshift shop where I do a lot of this work. So I'm not in my fix-it shop today, but that's all right. There you have it. I'm going to fix these screens. Hopefully I can get them all done. And then I do have 2 windows here I have to replace. So you can see those 2. I'll show them to you here. Glass out of this frame here needs to be replaced. You do it similarly. You just pull this channel out right here. It comes clear out all the way around. You cut your new piece of glass, you lay it in, and then you work that channel right back in place. And it should stay. Now, I don't have this kind of material in stock, so I'm forced to use the old, even though it doesn't reach all the way around. This stuff will stretch, so I may be able to stretch it long enough to make it reach. But once the sun hits that for a few years, it has a tendency of shrinking, and that's why you end up with those gaps. But the owner wants that done this week, and I don't have that material here. I don't think. I'm going to look. So, I have a lot of that kind of stuff around, I guess. You can see it over here. But I don't have exactly what that takes. So, yep, I have a lot of that product on hand, but not exactly what it takes. So we're going to go ahead and get started here. I got to track my time so I know how much to charge the customer. I want to be fair in all of this stuff the best I can. I don't know how others replace screen or glass, but that's the way I do it. It's worked well for me, and I think it would work well for you. Can you fix it? Sure, you can fix it. Until we meet again.